Hey guys, I'm Seafood Mike and this is Tactical Kung Fu Mixed Martial Arts located in Durham. Okay, and the topic of this video is about charities. Now, if you've been following along and know me, you know that I do a charity fundraiser every October, and I've been doing this for years. Okay, I take the money that I raise from it at the end of the month and I split it between a couple different local hospitals, and it's really good. Been raising a lot of money, got to do it again this year, so make sure you are subscribed. Okay, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell that is somewhere off in the area, and be sure to watch this entire video so that you can better understand what it is that I'm talking about when I talk about charities and really the reason why it exists, because it may not be what you think, and that actually is pretty simple. I'm gonna say a few things first before I drop the hammer on you and drop the bomb of knowledge. I'm going to help set the stage, if you will, because I'm an economist and I'm also a martial artist. I've been teaching for a very long time. The thing about martial arts, the human body can only move in so many different ways. So you're going to have a lot of things with the different nouns, same verbs, okay, a lot of the same stuff, and that's probably one of the more annoying things about mixed martial arts, is that you do have a whole lot of the same things just with different names. Now, to truly understand a technique, and this goes for any technique, you really need to know why it was done in the first place, the total complete context of it. So everything's going to work best for the thing it was created for. Okay, once you find out what that is, then you can be like, okay, this doesn't quite fit my context. I got to use my words right, man. Trying to enunciate, but I'm from the South, so, and I've had a brain cancer, so getting back to that later. But you need to know the context, right? It's going to work best for the context. Once you figure that out, once you know it, then you can make the little subtle adjustments to better fit your current context, right? Otherwise, it's like jamming a square peg into a round hole and you get really frustrated and you're like, this doesn't work. Well, of course it doesn't work, because you're not using it correctly. It's like having spent your entire life playing basketball and then you're like, hey, I'm going to play baseball, right? And I know Michael Jordan did that, but he's Michael Jordan. I'm talking about everybody else. I should use a better example. So you spend your entire life playing football and then you're like, I'm going to play hockey. Okay, it doesn't translate. It's not one-to-one. You can't take all of your experience and knowledge of playing football and just immediately step right onto the rink and play a hockey game and not just like fall on your butt all the time, right? And it goes the other way around. They both, though, have very much a lot of contact. It's pretty cool to watch them. Anyways, so we're talking about understanding the context. Everything is going to work best for the thing it was originally done for. Okay? This applies to everything, not just martial arts. It applies to everything that was really done. So, like, understanding the context of why a charity exists. Now, most charities will have their mission statement. Actually, every charity will have a mission statement. We're here to do this thing. Right, give us money so we can do this thing, so we can help these orphans, or we can help people who have cancer, help people who have this disease, help people who are hungry or homeless or something else that begins with the letter H. Just, you know, those kind of things. Every charity has that, and they're good. Okay, but me being an economist, I'm like the little kid asking, why? Okay, why do these things exist in the first place? And the answer is very simple, and it's probably not the most positive thing when you really think about it, but gotta get it out there for people, got to let you know that these things exist to do a thing that the government or a business really won't do. Okay, let me say that again. They exist to do a thing, a function, to help people, because the government and or a business won't do it. And there's plenty of proof for this, because like starting with the government, anybody who is a small business owner who has survived COVID will be telling you that the government can do whatever they want, when they want it, whatever they want it. They have total authority to do whatever they want. In fact, they spend most of their time just justifying what they've already done. Right? They are the picture-perfect examples of, I'm going to ask for forgiveness and not for permission. You just do whatever they want. So they can totally do whatever they want. They can totally help the people that these charities are existing to help. But they chose not to. They've been doing this for years. Now, businesses also have the same thing. Businesses can totally do that. In fact, I run a business. I run this school, tkfmma, right? And there's absolutely nothing that determines or that says what I can set my prices to. I can choose whatever. I can charge people 2 cents or $200 a month. It doesn't matter. I set that. And anybody who sets the prices at a business can do the exact same thing. Especially small business owners, man, we know, hey, if we have to set a price, we can set it to whatever we want. There are certain circumstances that we have to, like, pay bills and stuff like that, and that helps set these things. But for the most part, price is determined by whatever you want it to be. Whether or not that's the best thing, or you file for bankruptcy later on, that's all up to you. That's a different video, right? But you can set it for whatever you want. So the fact that these charities exist to help pay financial stuff because of a business overcharging, I mean, it's absurd. I'm actually going to try my best to get through this video without getting really upset and angry, because like this kind of stuff does burn me up. I've been doing this for years. I'm trying to help people out because this is a terrible thing that they have to go through. I know firsthand what it's like to go through, so we're definitely helping these people out. And a lot of the people like on the front lines, like the doctors and nurses and people who see patients firsthand in their face, right? They're awesome. Some of them are every bit the heroes that we play them out to be, right? They have to deal with like a bunch of sick, dying, hurting people all the time. That is their job. They're also victims of business. Okay, a lot of them, like, their working conditions are really bad, right? And so these charities are in existence to help both people, right? Okay, I know plenty of scientists who, instead of being on the bench doing science and actually researching how to cure cancer, they got to spend a good chunk of their time just writing a grant proposal to get the money that will allow them to spend another year doing the science that they're not even able to fully do all the time, right? They have to write money, or have to write grants for that, right? That's ridiculous. These people went to school for years, almost a decade, to do a thing, and then have to spend part of their time doing something totally different just to get the money for it. That's why these charities exist, to get the money to help those people out. So those are the people on one end, right? The doctors, the scientists, the nurses. And then we got the people who actually are patients that we're trying to help out, that we're giving the money to, because the cost of actually treating them can be very bad. Now, I'm not making this up. I got a letter here, because I've been doing this for a long time. I give not only to the local hospitals, but several places, several different charities personally. I've got a letter here from a local hospital that literally says, and this is asking for money, okay? They're going to get money. Like I said, I'm going to help people out, and I'll explain this kind of disparity, why it let me read this first, okay? So, literally reading off the line, it says, for many patients, devastating emotional and financial struggles emerge during and after treatment. Okay, this is like treatment. That's what they do, right? But it results in devastating emotional and financial struggles. So they know that the very thing that they do causes devastating emotional and financial troubles or struggles, right? It goes on to say that cancer is the leading cause of personal bankruptcy, even among those with health insurance. All right. Now, here's the thing about cancer. The statistics say that like 1 out of every 2 men will get cancer in their lifetime. 1 out of every 3 women will get cancer in their lifetime. If you do the math, right, with the population of just the U.S., then roughly half of the entire, like 300 million people are going to get cancer in their lifetime. That's how good our system is, by the way, is that half the people are going to get cancer within their lifetime, which means that having medical insurance isn't going to help you with that. Okay, if that's the #1 cause of bankruptcy, even amongst people who have health insurance. If you don't have health insurance, you're just out of luck, man. And so that's why we have these charities. But this is coming from the charities department of that hospital. Now, as I said before, this is kind of a clear-cut example of different departments not talking to each other, because in most places you have one department that's all about like treating and helping patients and keeping them alive. That's what their job is to do, is to keep them alive. Then you have a separate department that is in charge of billing, right? They are billing all these patients about all the stuff, all the treatments that they have, right? Then you have this department, the charity people, who are like, oh my gosh, they have to pay so much money. We got to raise some money. We got to do something to help them out because of all the, financial and emotional struggles that emerge from the billing side. So you have all these departments that aren't really talking to each other, because you could very easily bypass the whole fundraising aspect and go straight to the billing and be like, hey, stop charging as much. It'd be simple, right? Not so much. I mean, the thing is, the medical industry specifically, we're talking about that because, hey, this is all about cancer fundraisers. I'm doing that in October. The medical industry is a $4 trillion industry. $4 trillion. That is a very big number. In fact, most calculators don't even have a display big enough for 4 trillion. It is a 4 followed by 12 zeros. That's huge. Okay, it didn't used to be $4 trillion. It used to be $3 trillion. Then COVID hit, and in the time 2020, in a time when industries were suffering, businesses were closing, and people were getting laid off, the medical industry somehow added $1 trillion to what it makes in a year. $1 trillion. Again, a 1 followed by 12 zeros. Okay, that's a lot. It is huge. Let's try to put it more in perspective. You take the population of the U.S., over 300 million people, okay, men, women, and children, everybody, right? Give them $1,000. That's not even half of $1 trillion, okay? Less than half of it. Now, again, giving more perspective, 1% of $4 trillion, just 1%, is $40 billion. Now, I don't know the tax rates in every different place. We're talking about the entire country and all the different counties and stuff in the states. But I'm pretty sure that the government is making more than 1% of $4 trillion. I mean, it's 19% of GDP, which is the number used to gauge the health of a country. So they don't have any incentive to actually bring it down. All right, and this is all just bad stuff. I mean, it's crazy to think that the industry that is making $4 trillion a year is also responsible for the #1 cause of personal bankruptcy. I mean, really, But the thing is, even though, like, ethically, I wouldn't approve of a business that makes a profit off of the pain and suffering of other people, we already have that, right? And if you think about it, ethics are they're based on morals, and morals are basically whatever society has determined to be okay. So this is kind of our fault, right? The entire United States, we've deemed it okay for there to be an industry that profits off of the pain and suffering of other people. And then we've made these charities to try and help them out, because somehow we understand that, like, oh, this is bad for them. This is creating, like, devastating emotional and financial struggles for people who are already suffering and struggling through just trying to survive because they have a horrible disease. I can't stress that to you enough, how absolutely terrible having cancer is. Not just, like, physically, but emotionally, financially. It is incredibly terrible and awful, and that's why we do these fundraisers for these charities. That's why these things exist, because in the short run, we have to help these people out. It needs to be happening. Like, there's nothing we can do in the long run to actually change the system. We're not going to worry about that because some of these people don't have a long run, right? So we got to do it now. So we have to give them money now, best we can. Sometimes that's all we have. All I have is doing a crap ton of push-ups and a YouTube channel. That's it, man, right? That's why I'm raising this money, because I can't donate as much money as other people can, right? So I'm going to do whatever I can to get them money, to get them help, because those patients, those people who are struggling through something terrible, have help in a short run, because sometimes that might be all they have. Okay, life is short, and even shorter for people who have cancer. Cancer is no joke, man. Cancer is terrible. And so that's why we do these things. But we do them because other places won't. Our government won't. Medical industry won't. They call themselves healthcare, but really, I mean, how healthy can it be if your actual treatment that you're prescribing is causing severe, devastating, emotional, and financial struggles? It's just, that does not compute. Okay, and I know it is not the fault of any one particular person. Okay, I know there are things like computers that run algorithms that are designed by people that are based on information that is inherently selfish. I mean, there are thousands of years of data that indicate that people, that mankind, every single one is incredibly selfish, right? There have been huge amount of studies that have indicated that people, even really, really good people, will do something terrible if they think they're not held responsible for that action, if they think they're just following orders. That's like literally all these studies that explain Nazi soldiers, right? They have done these things. You can look into the test where they did like electrical shocks at people and they were just acting, but that kind of thing, right? Now, replace people with policy, and that's what you have now. You have people who are just following policy because they want to stay in their job, and you're just like, hey, my job says, hey, we should do this thing, we should do that thing. And then they're like, oh man, this results in these people struggling, so we're going to create a charity to help them out because they're already working really freaking hard just to stay alive, all right? We don't want to make it harder for them. So we have this charity. I mean, that's the whole spiel, whole thing right there. And I know this video has been going on for a little bit long. I'm going to try to wrap it up. I just trying to explain to you, this is why we do the things that we do. We are helping out the people because somebody has to, right? These people who have cancer, have the bad diseases, even homeless people, they have, all these people have problems, and we just need to help them out. I mean, if everybody tried to make life better for the person next to them, this world would be awesome, but we don't do that. We have to have these charities of people who are awesome, who will do that if we give them the right money so that they can. That's it. And the thing is, I've said it before, doctors, nurses, people who have FaceTime with patients, they're awesome. All right. If anything, they're just following orders. They're following a policy that is set aside by some nameless, faceless business out there. That's the enemy, right? But for the most part, those guys are awesome. Sometimes those guys need as much help as the people they're trying to help, right? Again, that's why these charities exist. To fund the cancer research that the big pharmaceutical companies won't do, right? That the government won't do. It's just, that's why we have, pure and simple. I can't think of any other reason why they would exist, why they would have to have a separate organization, a non-profit organization, to do a thing that another company or the government should be doing. I mean, that's the whole reason why we have the government, right? Wouldn't make sense. Wouldn't make sense. I mean, that's the whole reason why we have a medical industry, but apparently their own treatment, and they know this because this came from them, is causing severe, devastating emotional and financial struggles. So we have to do something about it. And that's what the whole reason why we give to charities. That's the whole reason why I do fundraisers. I've been doing it every single year. And like I said, if you subscribe and hit the notification bell, in October I'm going to be doing live streams of me doing push-ups, and I'm going to be raising money for charities, for the Duke Cancer Hospital and the UNC Lineberger Cancer Association Society thing. Sorry, I'm tired and I'm just like, it's a long name. But that's where the proceeds are going, to help people who need help, and they need it now. They can't be waiting for whatever. It's a very short run thing. Help these people out. Long run, actually there's a phrase in economics, in the long run we're all dead. Alright, so we don't want to get there. Short run, we're going to help people out best we can. Anyways, this has been a long video. I thank you for staying until the end and watching the whole thing. And if you like it, hit the like button. If you don't, it's okay. Be sure, though, to help them out. Help people out. Everybody needs some help. Okay, either donate to charities or literally just help out the person next to you, man. Okay? If you haven't already, subscribe. Hit the notification bell so you can find out when I'm going live for the next time I'm posting a video, and all that good stuff. It's YouTube/tkfmma. Okay, you can also check me out on the Instagram and Facebook and Twitter. Okay, got all my social medias, all tkfmma. And you can go to my website, tkfmma, or you can do classes here at tkfmma, which stands for Tactical Kung Fu and Mixed Martial Arts. I'm Seafood Mike. You guys take it easy. Be good to each other. Alright? That's the whole thing, man. Somebody's got to look out for the other guys. So, you got to do it. It's up to you to help other people around you, because they need it. We all do. Every last one of us. Alright, guys. Again, can't say it enough. Be good to each other, and I will catch you later.